Hi folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob, here on the end of August already. Summer's gone, folks. Although it really isn't gone. It ends, what, the 22nd or the 23rd of September, I think. My birthday's the 24th, I know, because I know it's right there. It's the 22nd or 23rd, but everybody thinks it ends Labor Day. Although the weather would tell you, like it's ready to end already. Well, today, to bring some sunshine to you, I got Emily Volz, Channel 10, NBC-10 here. How you doing?
Bob, I'm doing great.
I finally got you on my show.
You finally nailed me down. Yeah,
10 years it took me to get you on my show. 10 years.
Here we are. Happy to be here. I'm with you. I love hanging on to summer for these last few weeks.
Right.
Though, like, I'm not going to turn down a pumpkin spice coffee in the interim. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I like those little hints of fall,
right.
but like I'm through and through summer until the very end, until mid.
Yeah, I never could understand why people give up on summer on Labor Day.
Yeah, because kids are going back.
It makes no sense.
Right, a bunch of kids started today. I think Barrington started today. I don't know whether other schools started today.
Now you got two little ones.
I got two little ones. My oldest baby he's 5. He's starting kindergarten
Cut
next
it
week.
out.
Yeah. I know. I'm not handling it well. So there's been this whole thing because they talk about he was a COVID baby born in 2020.
Wow.
And they're saying how these parents are having a really hard time
right.
letting go, which I think is part of that. But also my schedule, like he's always asleep when I get home because I work a little bit of a later
right.
shift.
You work a weird shift.
So now I'm like gonna be carting him off to the bus stop early in the morning. And
How was that the first time?
What?
What did you just do? Was today the first day?
No. It doesn't start until next week. Next week I'll be a mess. This week I'm still fine.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
I'm holding it together this week,
yes.
but next week I'll be a mess. Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah. But
how do you think he's going to handle it?
Great.
Really?
I keep asking him, I'm like, are you nervous? Like, what do you think? And he's like, no, not nervous at all.
Cut it out.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is he's been going to preschool in the same,
right.
it's like preschool through 2nd grade. So he'll
right.
be in the same building. He knows some of the kids already.
Oh, he's got a piece of it already.
So I think that'll ease with the adjustment.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
He's got, it's like a preview. He's had the preview.
Yes, I think my
years.
youngest might have it because he's starting preschool next week too. I think he might have a bit of a harder time because he hasn't done any of the school stuff yet, and he's my little Velcro baby. So that might be.
Your Velcro baby?
Well, yeah, he's always attached to me. It's always.
Oh, I get it.
He's 3 years old, walking and
it.
talking, but it's always, "Mommy, carry me." You know.
Oh yeah. How old is he now?
He turned 3 in July. Yeah.
2 boys?
2 boys.
Wow.
2 boys that love to fight.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that happened. I had 4 brothers.
You had 4 brothers?
Yeah. There's
no sisters?
5 boys. Oh yeah, 3 sisters.
Oh my gosh.
There was actually 6 boys and 3 girls. I lost a brother when he was young.
Wow.
But yeah, 5 boys and 3 girls.
That's chaos.
And get this one. My mother was 30 years old when she was carrying the 9th one when my father died.
30 years old and she'd already had 9 kids?
Well, she had 8. The last one was born 6 weeks after my father died.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And then she had to raise all of you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that wasn't before the disposable diapers.
Your mother deserves a statue.
I was emptying out diapers.
Yeah.
At 7, 8 years old.
Oh my
Emptying out the other
gosh.
kids' diapers, because at one point she had 4 kids in diapers.
Oh, that's rough.
Because the last 3 were only less than a year apart.
Yeah, that's really rough. Yeah, we've just exited the diaper phase.
Yep.
They're both.
But you didn't have the.
But we had
diapers.
disposable diapers. But yeah, the youngest was like, we were like, you're starting preschool now. You got to be potty trained, and he was like, yep, got it, and he just hasn't looked back, which is nice.
You did that.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of women. I see people diapers. The kids are in diapers at 4 and a half years old.
Yeah.
I go, that's crazy.
He's like super strong-willed, so if he decided that he wouldn't bend at all, but he was like, yeah, I'm done with it, I don't want anything to do with it, and once he makes his mind up on something, he's set.
That's the younger one.
That's the younger one. Yeah, he's very strong.
Well, he had the advantage of having an older brother.
He got to watch the older brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a world of difference.
It does.
Right, the middle child or the last child has a big advantage over the first child.
Yeah, just getting to observe. Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
The first child you're learning from.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas the second child, you've already learned all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So the second child has a big edge over the first child, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah. What order were you?
4 from the top.
Okay, so right in the middle, kind of.
Two were sisters, and then my older brother's a year and a half old, was a year and a half older than me, and then me, and then a younger sister and 3 younger brothers.
Did you guys fight a lot?
Of course.
Right? Like, I feel like with that many kids, it's got to be
Violent
chaos.
fights. Violent fights. Serious, yeah.
I believe you, yeah.
We had some battles.
Yeah, because your mother can only break up so many fights. She's
Yeah.
only one person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of them. And ironically, I live in the house that I grew up in.
No.
Yeah, I bought it back from the family when my mother died. And
Wow.
I gutted it out and did it over again.
Is it huge? Like a ton of bedrooms?
Oh, yeah, it's big.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes. In fact, I just had an argument with the Blackstone Valley Sewer, not Blackstone Valley anymore, on Narragansett Bay Commission. They listed it as a 3-family. It's a 2-family,
Yeah.
but because it's big, it's a big house.
Mm-hmm. Do you rent out part of it?
No,
No, it's just you in there?
yeah.
You could be making some side cash.
I know I could be. Yeah, I could be making probably $1,800 for the second floor. It's
Yeah.
really big and really nice
Yeah.
apartment. I did it up to rent it, but I never did.
Oh man.
I just don't want anybody above me.
I know that would be tough, but the income stream sounds nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, seriously, I've thought about it a few times, but I keep turning. Well, you know what I may do? I've thought about this too. Somebody mentioned it to me when I was in the hospital. My last knee operation, I ended up having this male nurse who was a real nice guy. In fact, we became friends. We went out to lunch a couple of times, and he told me, he said, "Why don't you rent the apartment out?" And he showed me where he lived in Providence on Federal Hill.
Yeah.
Him and 2 other guys lived there, and they're all traveling nurses, and they make big money.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the times the hospitals pay their rents.
Ooh.
So the landlord, where he was charging them like $1,500 or $1,600 per person.
Yeah.
In a small house, small apartment actually.
Yeah.
On Federal Hill. So he's getting $4,500 for the one apartment.
That's crazy.
Whereas normally he'd probably get $1,500, $1,800 or something for the apartment.
That could be you.
It could be. But the one thing I like about that is I could try it because they're only here 13 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'd find out if I really would want to deal with that.
Yeah,
or
not be tethered to
But
it.
I'm a very light sleeper, and I don't know I could handle that.
Yeah.
Even though when I rebuilt this house, I put R36 in the separate the first to second floor. Besides separate from the second to the attic, I put, because I overloaded the whole house with insulation for heat, save on heat, but also for sounds.
Yeah.
So I think it might be all right. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. Now, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Where?
Burlington, New Jersey. So if you're familiar with New Jersey, South Jersey, across the river from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I came up to college at UConn.
Okay.
And then I've been, the job takes you kind of all over. I've been lucky to be able to stay on the East Coast in the Northeast. I worked after college. I worked in Pennsylvania for a few years. Then I went to Springfield, Massachusetts. And then I came here 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was at UConn. Last time I was at UConn, they had that plant that opens up every 14 years or something. Were you there then?
No. What do they have, like a death plant or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know that was there.
It is. It was, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I had no idea they had
It
one
sinks
there.
to the high heavens, but it's beautiful when
Yeah.
it opens up, and it only blooms for about a week.
Yeah,
And I
interesting.
happened to be there. I happened to go there knowing it was there.
Was it like part of their horticulture program
Yeah.
or something? Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's not just loose there at UConn.
And they announced it was going to open up.
Yeah.
So I took a shot, and I went there with my son when he was young. And God, it's got to be it's over 20 years ago, because he was less than 10. He's 31 now.
Yeah.
So we went there, and sure enough, it was just opening.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably, I started there in 2006, so it was probably like around that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it might have been a
Little bit before?
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been 2004, something like that.
But UConn was great. I love UConn. Obviously, like the best basketball team in the country for college sports. But it was just so fun. I had a great time there.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great place to go to school. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a metropolis, great metropolis. You got Hartford, Connecticut there, and
Yeah. No.
Springfield, Massachusetts nearby.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I was able to intern at a station in Springfield while I was there, because I wasn't sure when I started college. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I started out on that like pre-law track, and we toured some law school, and they were like, don't do this, you're gonna hate it. So I was like,
Who told you that?
one of the students in law school. Like, that's not who you want to talk to for career advice, right? Because they're in the thick of it. But that really stuck with me. They were like, do not do this. So I was like, what else am I gonna do? And one of my really good friends was doing journalism. And I kind of like looked at what she was studying. I joined the campus newspaper with her, and I ended up loving it. And then when I was at UConn, I started interning. I got an internship at one of the stations in Springfield.
Right.
And
What is that, 20?
it was at CBS 3. They're no longer there. They merged with ABC 40, which I also worked at. But the news director at the time is now my news director here at Channel 10.
Oh.
Yeah. So we go way back, even though he probably doesn't remember me from that.
Cut it out. Of course he remembers you. Of course he remembers you.
I don't know. He's a busy guy. But yeah, so ended up interning there in Springfield, and then after I graduated UConn, I went to work for a cable station in Pennsylvania for a few years. It was nice because it was only, my parents are in New Jersey. I was only like 2 hours from home, which I think the broadcast industry has changed in the sense that you don't have to go as far anymore to get your first job out at TV news. It's a little bit less competitive now.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's less interest in it. I don't know. It just seems easier to move your way up faster. You know what I mean? But being able to go to Pennsylvania was really nice because I wasn't too far from home for those first few years, and it was like just kind of a small cable station, but a great situation. Like, I didn't have to work many late nights or early mornings. Like, all of that came eventually, the horrific schedules. But it was good to ease your feet into it, and there was a lot of people who had been there for decades that were eager to help you learn, and like,
that's surprising, isn't it though?
Yeah, but it was great. Like, teach you like what to look out for at the county commissioners meeting, and like sit with you while you're writing your story, and like not just go over your script, but call you into the office to go over the script and look at how you formatted it, look at the questions. So that was like awesome in terms of learning.
Now, are you only child? Or?
No, I have a sister. She lives in Philadelphia now. Her and her husband just opened up a pizza restaurant in Philadelphia.
We were talking about food. Me and Diane were talking about food because I like to cook. I cook all the time.
Yeah, my sister's a graphic designer, so she does that full time. But her and her husband also just opened up a pizza restaurant, which is awesome. We went back there. We went to my parents' house in New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and we stopped by the restaurant, and they do phenomenal pizzas.
Really?
Scamps in Philadelphia.
Now wait a minute. Now, ancestry is what?
My ancestry is German.
German pizza place.
Well, I mean,
you want to advertise that, a German pizza place? That's
no,
something
and
new
I don't even know what my brother-in-law is. He's not Italian either. They do.
Is he Greek?
He's not Greek. No.
Because you're either Italian around here. As you know, the pizza places are either Italian or Greek.
Yeah. So their thing is they do like a sourdough crust. So leaven.
Like that.
So
Yeah,
that's their slant on it.
That's different.
Yeah. And
you know what you just did?
What?
I'm going to buy, because I'll make a pizza sometimes 2 or 3 times a week.
Really?
I will buy some sourdough bread to try it.
See
some
how it comes
sourdough
out.
to try it.
It's supposed to help you digest it better too, apparently. I don't know.
Because I like sourdough
But
bread.
if you're eating a whole pizza, it's not not going to do any magic, I don't think, in terms of your digestion. But yeah, I guess like your body digests sourdough better. Is that true? Do you know that?
I don't know that.
Okay. Maybe I'm making it up.
Yeah, could be. The first time I had sourdough was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah. That's big out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, my brother-in-law was like working in bakeries because him and my sister used to live in Germany, and he started working in bakeries over there, and he got really into sourdough and making bread. And when they came back to America, he was making all kinds of breads, and then he kind of slowly transitioned into the pizzas.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm serious. He should advertise that. A German pizza. A German pizza made by a German.
Pizza made by German. I mean, we're not like purely German. I think it's just,
no, who is?
everyone,
Nobody's
mix
anything
of, I
anymore.
know. Although if you ask my husband, he's 100% Italian, and he will.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he's like, no, we're only Italian, But no, I think most people are a mix, right?
I just got a half an hour before I come on the show, I got a text from one of my nephews. Him and his brother, their last name is French, right? And he just came. His older brother just came from the Vatican, and he actually got sent a picture of him with the Pope.
Wow.
But he sends it with the Venturini name. He's not a Venturini. I mean, he is a Venturini. His mother was a Venturini,
Yeah.
but his father wasn't. So his father has a French name.
Uh-huh.
You know, Venturini's an Italian name.
Yeah.
So he has the Venturini. He's half Italian,
Yeah.
right? Like I am.
Yeah.
He's half Italian, but he uses, instead of his first name's Richard, instead of Richard, his French name is Richard Venturini.
Yeah.
Which is not
when
his
in
name.
Rome, right?
There you go. When in Rome, yeah. I cracked up when I read it. My nephew, his brother sent it, who loves to bust him up.
Yeah.
He sent it to me, and I said, "What's he going to do next? He's going to go to Greece, and he's going to say he's Greek. He's going to go, when in Rome, when in Greece.
When in Greece, you got to play along, right?
Yeah. And I'm dying after the show to call him and bust him up about that.
Yeah.
What, did you change your name to Venturini?
When it's convenient.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't been to Rome, have you?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, like at least 10 years ago, my husband and I, we had actually gotten engaged on that trip. It was like our first time going to Europe, and we did London, Paris, and then a lot of my husband's family still lives in Naples. So we went to Naples, and they took us on a day trip to Rome. And they took us all over Italy, but just a day trip to Rome when we went to visit them. Yeah.
I know Gene's been there a couple of times. It's at the Vatican, actually.
Gene's been all over, hasn't he?
Yeah.
When he vacations well. These hotels, because when he goes somewhere, you'll be like, "What hotel are you staying at?" And you'll Google it and look it up, and you're like, "Oh, wow."
Really?
He vacations it up. Yeah.
Well, he's a Jersey boy too.
He's from New Jersey too.
Yeah.
North Jersey. But he ended up working, I think, like when he was right out of school, he worked in the Atlantic City area. So he's like, we've talked about it because he covered a lot of South Jersey where I grew up. So he's familiar with all that too.
Yeah, I had him on the show. He's been on the show more than anybody.
I'm sure.
No, it's a fact. He's number one on the show.
How many times?
Oh, got to be a dozen at least.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he was on 4 months ago. Yeah. And number two is Tony Petrarca.
Okay.
Channel 12.
All right.
Over the years, they've been on a lot.
Nice.
A lot on the show. And we talk about Italy when he's gone to Italy. He's been to Pope. He's met the Pope.
He has?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. The current Pope or the previous Pope?
No, the previous Pope.
Yeah.
Probably the previous two popes.
You think?
He might have. Yeah, he might have, because he's been over there a number of times.
Yeah.
So you want to stay here in Rhode Island, or?
I think so.
Is that the plan?
I mean,
Because I see you have the talent. You have the talent.
I know, but when you got the marriage and the house and the kids and stuff,
Right.
Who wants to make everyone uproot their lives?
That's true. Because the kids would have to uproot their schooling.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're too deep into it, but yeah, and my husband likes his job. He works up in Boston. He loves what he does. So, and I've kind of tortured him enough over the years with moves that.
Right. Well, not really. Not bad.
I made him go to Pennsylvania, and then when we went to Springfield, and then came over here, and I think he was like,
It's all New England, though.
Yeah, but I think, he
New York's not that far from
He
there.
wanted to plant roots. If New York came calling, I think we'd have a hard time saying no, because it's right in between where our parents are.
Right.
But so far, New York has not come calling.
Well, you know what they called for? Christine Johnson, remember her?
No.
CBS 2 in New York.
Okay.
WCBS, the main station. I predicted her on the show. She was on the show 3 times.
Wow.
On the second time, I told her, I said, I predict within the next 3 to 5 years, you'll be filling in for Katie Couric, who at the time was on the Today Show.
Yeah.
Which was weird that I said that. I don't know why I said it. And it made no sense because, first of all, she was not on NBC, right?
Yeah.
Got to fill in. She was on Channel 12 at the time in Rhode Island. And I'm predicting she's going to fill in for Katie Couric on the Today Show, which made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
few months later, she got picked up by NBC.
Wow.
And she called me and she said, she was shocked. And then she came on the show the third time, and we talked about it, and she's leaving.
Yeah.
Her husband quit his job, and they moved to New York, and what a wonderful thing her husband did by quitting his job. That's what she said. I said,
Yeah.
Really?
It's so interesting though, because I feel like we were just talking about it with some of your staff here, how much the media landscape is shifting very quickly now. You know what I mean? Like between like social media, and it just seems like, all of these companies that own our stations,
Yep.
between the mergers and stuff like that, it seems like, and the less and less people watching cable every year, it's going to be a whole new dynamic, I think.
Well, the
over next few
podcast
years.
thing is
The podcast thing is huge.
crazy.
Like these podcasters, exactly. Like that's like the top of the mountain for a lot of people now. You know what I mean?
That
They're making
Rogan, that guy,
Yeah.
what's his name? His first name?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
They're making millions upon millions
Yes.
of dollars. Yeah.
Yes, he
Which
was
is
a,
kind of like a sweet gig if you're only doing it once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the same grind as going to New York and getting up at 3:30 in the morning every day to go on the Today Show.
right,
So.
right.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how quickly things are shifting now. You know what I mean? Like, because when I graduated college, I remember like I said, I interned in Springfield. I interned at WTNH in New Haven too, and this was like during the Great Recession, like 08, 09. And everyone was like, don't go into journalism, like don't go into TV news. It's
Right.
gonna be dead in a few years, don't do this. And it seemed like for a long time, it was like, no, nothing's really changing. Like the economy was bad, but nothing's really changing. But now it seems like, a shift is occurring faster
Right,
and faster
yeah.
as more and more people drop cable and just tune in. People are still getting their news, but they're getting it in all new
From
ways.
different places. We've
Yeah.
discussed that with the younger people over here.
Yeah.
It seems anybody under 30 doesn't really watch a lot of nightly news.
Yeah, and we obviously, we still have like so many loyal viewers that
Right.
we're going to bring them the news to, but it's also, I think, corporations are looking at how to meet these younger consumers to get them like some form of news
Right.
in a way that they'll use it and keep coming back for it.
Well, I think it'll shift back again.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to shift back again. But they realize that the stuff they're getting, a lot of it is fake. It really is.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff they're watching on. They found out that something like 42% of the Google reviews are fake.
Yeah. And you know what the other interesting thing is? I don't know if you feel this way too, between all of, like not just in the context of news, but TV in general, like think about how many different streaming platforms you have, whether it's Netflix, Hulu,
Right.
Prime, Apple, like you can't keep track of what you're watching what on, and don't you just want like something similar to cable, like
Cable.
one condensed
I
thing?
still have
that
cable.
I still have cable too, but I think a lot of people cut the cord and then get all of these separate things.
And then they cost more.
And then they get Hulu Live with it or YouTube Live, and it ends up costing the same as cable. Like we priced it out and we were like, we're gonna save $8 if we cut the cord, if we end up
Right.
getting one of those other live channels.
And you probably end up spending more because you'd end up buying one or two more of the stations. Those
And
cable.
some of the streaming platforms, like
Streaming.
ESPN just launched, and it's $30 a month.
Right.
That's not cheap.
Oh, ESPN is what makes cable cost so much. That's the most expensive portion of their budget is sports.
Yeah, because people want live sports. But yeah, it's just interesting to see how much it's been chopped up, and then I think you're right to a degree. Like some people just like want the simplicity back of like, I just want it all in one place, and not to search for it and wonder if my different subscriptions are worth it.
Yeah, like I got one or two of them, and then they go, they got this one. They got a show in there I like, but I'm not joining that and spending another $15 or $16, even though I can afford them.
Yeah.
I know I got to do that one. I'm going to buy the other one. Before you know it, I'll have 5 or 6 of them in cable.
And cable.
Right?
Exactly.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But I do see the swing going to come back again. I think it's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That the swing's going to be back to regular.
And it's not like, the market is always there for news. It's not like people don't want their news.
Right.
Even the people who were just getting their news on TikTok, Facebook, X, whatever, they still like to know what's going on.
Yes.
You know, like when Taylor Swift and Travis got
Oh my
engaged.
God.
It's all, you know, everyone's like shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Like everyone is the town crier all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So people want to be in the know. They want to know what's going on, whether it's celebrity, national, local. It's just, you know, finding the evolving with where the consumers are for news.
Can you imagine if they break up in the next year?
I don't think they are.
No.
No, I'm not, you know, I haven't followed super closely. Like, I'm not a huge Swiftie or anything, but
No.
I feel like they really like each other.
Yeah.
You know, you get that read from them that they're both like super happy and super proud of each other. I think it might be real.
Well, I only say that because that would be a lot of broken hearts.
That
in the
would be,
world.
the
my
world
God.
would be devastated.
Yeah.
I know.
Although she'd have a lot to
She'd
sing
have a
about.
lot to write and sing about. We, like, as soon as it broke, we launched a crew to Westerly, just like to get sound outside of her
Right, to
house
stand
from
out
people,
inside
just
at,
like
at the gate.
yeah, and ask people, speculate. You know, do you think she'll have it here? But I feel like she's going to want to do it small where no one can see, right? Like jet off to Europe or someplace where there aren't going to be 1,000 cameras watching her get married. But who knows?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that's what's going to happen. Because otherwise it would go
We'd all love a Westerly wedding, right? Like
that
we'd
would
have
be nice.
team coverage around the clock that'd be great for our station.
But
I just don't see it happening.
No. How much time do you think she spends there in the course of a year?
Probably not much. We were Dan and I were talking about that yesterday too. He was like, "Why did she buy that house? Because it's so accessible to, you know,
the general population.
Like everyone can see it, whether you're on boat. Like she can't have a ceremony there because paparazzi on boats would have access."
Right.
And then we were like, you know,
and it's not down a long private road. I mean, it's right there.
I think, but she purchased it in like 2012, 2013. She wasn't a pop star then. She was just doing country. So I don't think she was as huge of a star when she purchased it.
Right.
You know, didn't have to protect her privacy quite as much as she does now.
Yeah, you can't imagine what they go through. You think about it. They have no life. They
No.
can't go out. Let's go out, have dinner. Let's go out to Twin Oaks or something. They can't do it.
No, and it seems like she's trying to. It seems like they're trying to now, her and Travis. Like the paparazzi catches them like out going to dinner and stuff, and it's a whole event. So like, good for them that they're still trying to have some normalcy amidst like being the two biggest stars in the world.
But I mean, they can't be home and go out to dinner.
Oh,
they can't do that.
Yeah. No.
They can be on the road when nobody knows where they are, and it's too late for.
Yeah.
You know, some people catch them, but it's not droves of people catch them.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Or, you know, hanging outside the gate and they watch them drive out and they follow them to a restaurant in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to have that.
No.
I mean, I can't even imagine how that would be to deal with that lack of privacy.
No, it sounds
You know,
horrible.
she can't even go sit out in the sun. You know, she can't go swimming in the water in Westerly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if she went to Musquamaket Beach? What would happen?
There would be. Yeah, it would just be chaos, right? It would be wall-to-wall coverage that she went to Musquamaket Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, great for us if she did.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd have a ton of eyeballs on our newscast.
No, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that. Well, you know, I got to let you go because you're spending a half an hour with Bob.
A half an hour?
You're the first timer. First time, you only get a half an hour.
You only get a half an hour.
You only get an hour. You don't get an hour the first time. You only get a half an hour.
All right, that was quick. That was a really quick half an hour.
It was a quick half an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe we can extend it? You think we can extend it?
No, it sounds like you have another guest coming in.
I do.
Yeah. Who is it?
I do. You know, only why? There's only one reason why.
Why?
I didn't think I've never met you before. Mm-hmm. And that's unusual. Usually I know my guest a little bit about my guest. And unfortunately, I misjudged it because I could do an hour with you. But I
You were like, oh, this girl, we're going to have nothing to talk about.
yeah, I said, wait a minute. I don't know anything about
Who's
her.
your other guest for the other half hour?
Pat Conley, you know him?
No.
Dr. Pat Conley.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of books, and he's a historian. He's a Rhode Island historian.
Oh, nice.
Pat, oh God, he does everything. A very, very smart guy, extremely intelligent man.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about a book he just published about Rhode Island.
Oh, cool.
It's everything about Rhode Island with
Yeah,
this guy. Everything
absolutely.
about Rhode Island. He lives in Barrington. He just donated. No, I'm sorry. He lives in Bristol. He just donated all his library of books to my alma mater, Roger Williams University.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to talk about, because that just happens. That's what changed this whole thing, because I just saw that the other day, and I said, I got to invite him on
Yeah.
to talk about that. That's what that came up.
I won't take offense.
You better not, because when I invite you back, I expect a positive response. Right?
Yes. Well, thank you. No, this has been lovely. It went super quick.
It did.
Yeah.
And tell Dan Janik I said hi, even though he's a pain.
Can I tell you what?
He dogged me, by the way. You tell him that.
What?
too.
What
I'm
did he
not happy.
do?
I'm not happy with him.
What did he do?
He no-showed me a few months ago.
No, he
He
didn't.
did. Yep.
I'll have a word with him.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please do. In fact, you know what would be fun? Because you guys work well together. Very.
You
good
want the both
together.
of us together?
That would be fun, because he's a BB. You know what that means? Right?
No, what does that mean?
I'll tell you off here.
Oh, I know what that means. I know what that means.
Right?
Yeah.
And-
Oh my God, yeah.
Unbelievable. He gets away with stuff that I'm waiting for him to say something wrong, and he doesn't.
I think because he keeps lowering the bar so that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
He can do whatever he wants now. But yeah, no, I'll talk to him and we can come on together next time.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be fun, because I want to get him.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just want to have fun with him.
Yeah.
With the two of you together.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's one of my closest friends. But yeah,
Is he?
he's something.
Yeah. Well, he's been on before, but
Yeah.
this was having him back on.
Okay.
All right.
I'll let him know.
Emily Volz, Channel 10. You're on at 4 o'clock,
5:30 and 7.
and 7.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of action.
It is. So, it's a busy day. But
Yeah.
every day is different, right?
Right. Yeah. It's fun. I
Yeah.
think.
It is.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into, but then I said I'm not going to talk to you about what things she didn't like, and never mind. We'll talk about that next time.
Okay, next time.
All right, I got to save that. Anyway, we'll be right back on an hour with Bob. Say bye to Emily. Folks, we're back on an hour with Bob, and we're going to spend some time with my good friend, Dr. Pat Conley. He's a Rhode Island's historian laureate, right?
Emeritus.
Emeritus.
I step back.
You step back.
Yes, in the bloom of my senility.
And may I ask, how old are you now?
87.
87 years old. 87 years young, as they would
Yes,
say.
yes.
Right? And you still got a lot of spunk in you.
Some spunk, but-
you haven't lost a step. I mean, I've heard speeches you've made numerous times,
Yeah.
and you haven't lost a step.
Well,
Do you think so? Do you think you have? I don't.
well,
I just don't
did
see
because
it.
I had to have my right knee replaced.
Oh, I knew you were going to say something crazy. Right? You haven't lost a step
Yeah.
as far as your intelligence is
Yeah.
beyond most people that I know.
Yeah. Everyone feels that but my wife.
Really?
You lack common sense.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How's she doing, by the way?
Oh, she's
Gail?
great. Yeah, she's doing very, very well.
Oh, good.
She's
good.
not here in the studio with me because she's up in Lincoln there. They have a Valley Girls get-together
Oh.
every final Wednesday of the month. Where
Every Wednesday, every final Wednesday of the
yeah,
month?
final Wednesday, where graduates of Central Falls High School,
No
which
kidding.
she was
Yep.
graduate, they get together for a lunch. So a few of them, they call themselves the Valley Girls.
The Valley. Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's really nice, yeah.
Wow. I remember back in the day, Central Falls was loaded with French people.
Oh yeah. Well, quite a few Irish there, and some
And-
and the
and
Portuguese
Polish,
and Polish.
and Polish, a lot of
Yep.
Poles.
In fact, my wife is part Polish
Really?
on her maternal side. As a matter of fact, when she went over, because we donated rather significantly to establish a hospital in Poland, and when she
Wow.
went over with the American group of other donors, she got to meet Lech Walesa. And my wife is extremely beautiful, as you probably have seen.
Of course.
And Lech spotted her and gave
Called
her a
her right
giant
over,
hug.
huh?
So I call her from now on Lechia Walesa. But we have a fantastic picture of her and Lech, which I put it in the Polish pamphlet, The Polish of Rhode Island. And when we reprinted it, I made sure I left space in the reprint
So
to
you
put
could
that
add-
picture in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you could add a little,
Yeah,
a little
caption
tag,
there.
a little
Oh, yeah,
tagline
yeah.
here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, there were a lot of, when I was growing up in Pawtucket, we used to go into Central Falls, with my convertible, and drive down Dexter Street,
Yeah.
Broad Street, and look at all the beautiful French girls
Oh, yeah.
and the Polish girls.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I always say, coming from South Providence, they see the house that I have now, which is on the cover of that book.
In Bristol.
Yeah, and they say, "Wow, how'd you ever get there from South Providence?" I
Right.
said, "I married up." "Oh yeah, where's your wife from?" I said, "Central
Central
Falls."
Falls. South Providence and Central Falls.
Yeah. What's up?
Who wouldn't expect you to be
That's
in
right.
a beautiful
Exactly.
$5 million house in Bristol?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't expect that? On the waterfront.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, I named it Gale Winds after her.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the name of the house?
Yeah.
Gale Winds. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Now, what did you just wrote this 2 books, not 1, but 2.
Well, I wrote one, and the other was written by Rusty Simone and Eric Chappett. The one
Oh.
that I wrote was an anthology. It's my 5th anthology, and it's got 50 essays on various aspects of Rhode Island.
Yeah,
On the Irish, the blacks, on sports, on what I call the culture wars, all kinds of varied articles, many of them which appeared originally in the Providence Journal. And
Right.
so that book, Road Running, is my 5th anthology. I'm working on number 6. And you see the 2 flags there. That's the deck looking
Of your
out,
house.
looking out, yeah, onto the bay. And the ship between the flags is the sloop Providence, one of the ships
Oh.
that the Ocean State gave away, like the sloop Providence, the HMS Rose, which is now in California. The
Now,
sloop
why
Providence,
did that happen, by the way?
because no one cares.
Really?
No one cares. The sloop Providence is down in Alexandria. The HMS
Virginia.
Rose, which was used in the movie Master and Commander, is now in San Diego. The Newport Jamestown Ferry is in Portland. The Brava Packet, the Ernestina that was in Providence near the Point Street Bridge,
Right.
is now in New Bedford. The USS Constitution is in the Charlestown Naval Yard. The Constellation is in Baltimore Harbor. On and on. We give away our maritime
history.
heritage, which is disappointing.
Sinful.
But what are you going to do? It's Rhode Island.
Wow. Well, that's a lot of ship. What you just mentioned there.
Yeah, I know
There's
it,
probably
yeah.
7 or 8 ships you just mentioned.
And we pride ourselves on being the ocean state.
Right.
And yet all these wonderful ocean exhibits. And then, of course, Frank Lennon tried in vain for years
Yeah, right.
to get an aircraft,
submarine,
one of the
yeah.
carriers in here.
And- oh, that too,
The
yeah.
carrier was the main thing. And, of course, that didn't generate a great deal of local support either. So, we might as well be Iowa.
Right. Yeah, I remember being in the Bristol Parade right behind him.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
in the carrier that they had the miniature carrier there.
Yeah,
in-
he's
in the-
done
in
an
the float.
excellent. He's done that. Now he's the veterans voice for the Providence Journal, and I work with him. I've worked with him on a number of projects. As a matter of fact, on the Sunday, the 31st, there'll be a feature story in the Journal, an opinion piece I've been writing on since 2002, and it's on the Veterans Cemetery. And I talk about the fact
In
that
Exeter?
that back in 1976, the Veterans Committee of my Bicentennial Commission,
Right.
I created a Veterans Committee. Webster Pigeon was the head, and they're the ones that were the prime movers in the laying out and design of the Veterans Cemetery. That was their great contribution to the Bicentennial. And the theme of my opinion piece is that I hope the 250th will pay as much attention to veterans and the veteran affairs, because the veterans are the ones that won the Revolution
Right.
and all of the other wars that the United States has been involved in. So in other words, when we celebrate our history, we can't forget the veterans.
Exactly. My brother's buried in that cemetery
Yeah,
in Exeter.
yeah. It's a beautiful cemetery. It was the foundation, our commission, RI-76, funneled money to the Veterans Committee, and then they went to RISD, and landscape designers in RISD laid out the cemetery.
For that cemetery.
Yeah, filed an 18-page report with sketches and documentation. And so much of the appearance of the cemetery is a result of the Veterans Committee of RI-76.
Wow.
And I didn't want the 250th to ignore
Exactly,
the
exactly.
veterans and their contributions to Rhode Island.
And the 250 is coming, what, next year?
250s, yeah, in 2026. I'm on the 250th commission, but whereas I headed the 200th, I'm kind of in the background here. The commission is structured a little different than mine was structured.
Right.
And so I more or less work things out on the side, including, for example, next year, I'm recommending to the Rhode Island Heritage Hall of Fame that sometime in early July, we induct General John Sullivan, the victor in the Battle of Rhode Island, August 29th, 1778, that the Reverend Henry White, who commemorated American independence in Bristol beginning in the 1780s and sustained it all the way through the 1830s, the kind of the father of the Bristol celebration, that he be inducted, and also the Reverend Roderick Terry, who was a humanitarian down on Aquidneck Island, gave to a number of the private causes, was president of the famous historic library in Newport,
Right.
the Redwood Library, and then donated all of the land on which the American headquarters was located during the Battle of Rhode Island. And now the Butts Hill organization is working to get that land to museum and park-like status. And that's their big
Now, where is that land
project.
in Newport?
It's in Portsmouth.
Oh, it's in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, yeah. Butts Hill, the northern part of Portsmouth. It's where the army, the American army under Sullivan, beat back the British, allowing our army to be evacuated from Portsmouth without the loss of a single soldier. I've called that event the American Dunkirk. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing. You know more about Rhode Island and its history and the battles we fought during the Revolution than anybody I know of.
Well, I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Some people think
you
I
were
might
here-
have been
you
there
were here
as a
then?
spectator.
Yeah, you were there?
I've written a booklet on the Battle of Rhode Island. I
Yep.
call it A Victory for the Patriots, which is kind of a little play on words for
Right.
New England football team there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And what do you think of the Boston Tea Party versus the
No contest versus the Gatsby.
The Gatsby.
I've written on that too.
I know
The
you
Boston
have.
Tea
I know
Party
you
were a
have.
bunch of drunken Bostonians.
Right, and they threw tea. They threw tea off the boat.
Throwing some
Versus-
tea
versus-
from the British East India Company into the water. The Gatsby, you had 12 longboats go down there, 11 from Providence and 1 from Bristol. That one by Simeon Potter, rowing across the bay, and actually seizing the Gatsby, injuring
Which was a big ship, which was their
the
primo
captain.
ship, which is-
It was a ship of the Royal Navy. Burned it to the waterline. I mean, that in many, they call that the first blow for freedom. And I remember when Dave Stackhouse, who organized the Gatsby Parade celebration, the Gatsby Days celebration back in the 1960s, I was just out of Notre Dame. I had just gotten my doctorate in history, and it was in my first year of teaching at Providence College. And he came to me with his concept, and he said to me, do you think that first blow for freedom is hyperbolic? And I said, not at all. That's exactly what it was. They got better publicists in Boston.
Of course,
With the
exactly.
Boston Massacre, which was a snowball fight that got out of hand, and the Boston Tea Party. But the Gatsby was the
What'd you
major.
say about the Boston Massacre?
Well, it was like a snowball fight that got out of hand. Some of the colonists were pelting snow at British soldiers, and they fired back into the crowd,
Right.
which was exceedingly unfortunate, but was hardly a organized military venture.
Right, exactly. It wasn't something they planned and they
Yeah.
fighting the British soldiers
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Just throwing snowballs at them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I tell people this all the time. I say, how can you compare throwing tea off a boat versus burning one of their
Naval
prize
vessels.
naval
Yeah, yeah,
vessels
yeah,
to the
yeah,
ground, to
yeah.
the waterline?
Yeah.
And by the way, that happened, what, 10 months before?
It happened on June 9th, 1772. The Tea Party wasn't until mid-September 1773.
All right, so we're talking.
Year and a half.
14 months, right?
Yeah, no, more than that, 18 months.
Oh, I thought it said July to August.
Yeah, year and a half,
July-
yeah.
Yeah, a year and a half
Yeah,
earlier.
June
Oh,
of
June.
72 to,
All right.
to
June
December of
72.
73.
70, yeah, okay, there you go. A year and a half
Yeah.
different, yet they get all the play in Boston.
Yeah, well, still do.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I argue people all the time
Yeah.
about that when it comes up. You know,
Yeah.
somebody mentions about the Boston Tea Party started
Yeah,
the revolution. I said,
yeah.
what do you think of pissing off the King of England more?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, he put a big price, big reward for anyone that came forward with information that nobody came forward. And so they, but he was going to remove anybody that was accused to either Halifax or to London for trial. And that was a violation of what Rhode Island is, the officials here in Rhode Island who were knowledgeable of the British common law, a violation that you're going to be tried in the vicinage.
Right.
In other words, where
In the venue.
where the action took place, and that ignoring trial by the vicinage was a violation of the common law, and therefore unconstitutional
Right.
in today's parlance. And what happened was that when that theory went forth, Virginia started a legislative committee of correspondence to unite the colonies in protest, and that legislative committee of correspondence, created as a direct result of the Gaspee, morphed into the first Continental Congress, and then into the second, which declared independence from England. So the Gaspee set off a chain of events that was extraordinarily significant that most people don't realize.
Right, exactly.
And that some historians ignore.
All right. Now, what is this? Thomas Wilson Dorr book
Well, the other one here, this is Thomas Wilson Dorr. I'll give you that for. That's by Rusty Simone and Eric Chappett, who was a biographer of Dorr. And Dorr is kind of my hero. When I was a ball player, it was Ted Williams. And then when I became a historian, it was Thomas Wilson Dorr. He is probably the second greatest Rhode Islander after Roger Williams.
Really?
He was the leader of the so-called Dorr Rebellion, a great movement for the extension of voting rights and fair reapportionment and a Bill of Rights and things of that nature, constitutional Bill of Rights for Rhode Island. The leader of the so-called Dorr Rebellion that took place roughly from 1841 to 43.
And what was that? What was that?
Well, it was a
rebellion?
movement that Dorr came to lead to get rid of the Royal Charter of 1663. We were the only state of the original 13 to maintain the Royal Charter. All of the other states that set
All the
them
other
aside,
12
most of them, with
colonies.
the exception of Connecticut, at the time of the American Revolution. And so that charter, while it may have been extraordinarily liberal for 1663, by 1842 was regressive, and it gave too much power to the legislature, did not accept the separation of powers theory, had no provision in it for the safeguarding of rights, provided a system where the state was grossly malapportioned, with the rural areas having you might say
Disproportionate?
an unjust influence over the state legislature, on and on. So Dorr led a movement, and the Law and Order Party, the incumbents, rose up against him, were able to vanquish him and put the rebellion down. But the People's Constitution, of which he was the principal draftsman, almost all of those provisions of the People's Constitution was subsequently incorporated
Right.
into the Rhode Island Constitution. I think the only major one that is not in is making education a basic, fundamental constitutional right. It's not
Really?
so in Rhode Island. It was in the People's Constitution that Dorr drafted, and that's the only significant piece of that People's Constitution that wasn't subsequently embraced
Right.
and placed into the Rhode Island Constitution. by future generations. So Dorr, over the course of time, was totally vindicated. Those are some of his select letters, which set forth his ideas, his philosophy, his reform instincts, and things like that.
Yep.
And that's the 47th book that the Rhode Island Publication Society, or booklet, like here's a booklet here. The young lady you
What
had
is this?
before was talking about a Germanic heritage. If I had known that, I would have brought the German to Rhode Island, but there's the Italian, so that's yours.
I know you've written these about a lot of.
Yeah, about
lot
all of them. The only ones that don't have them because they chose not to participate with the back in 1976 with the English and the English, the Swedes, and the Hispanics, and but all the other 15 major ethnic and racial groups that I created back in 1976, all of them undertook the challenge, and over a period of 20 years, finally finished that series. And so it's a 15 pamphlet series. And when I was able to create the Heritage Harbor Foundation in 2016, I took all of those that came out seriatim from about 1981 through 1995, and I published them as a box set. So they were the Rhode Island Ethnic Heritage Pamphlet Series, and it was the first thing that the Heritage Harbor Foundation undertook. And since then, there were 15 of those, and since then, about another 31 books, including the two here,
Wow.
for 46 books that we published from 2016 to now by the Rhode Island Publication Society, which is an outgrowth of RI-76. And all those books are funded by the Heritage Harbor Foundation.
Which is you.
Well, it's not me. It's basically, we have a 13-member foundation. I created it from the proceeds of the Heritage Harbor Museum project, which Al Kleiberg tried to get a state museum. And that big
building they had there.
Yeah, the big Narragansett Electric Building. And for a number of reasons, including the Great Recession and an incredibly unwise move by the Kachuri administration altering the historic tax credit program, that project failed. So they brought me in like as the captain of the Titanic to take over the museum project, and I was able to negotiate a deal with investors from Boston, Commonwealth investors, to get $4.5 million for the building and for the museum rights. And I paid off $900,000 of museum debts, and I left $3.6 million proceeds. So I took the $3.6 million, put it with the Rhode Island Foundation, and the Rhode Island Foundation since 2016 has earned money with that $3.6 million to the point where we were able to do all these books for the Rhode Island Publication Society, grant some support to the Rhode Island Heritage Hall of Fame. So I call the foundation the Publication Society and the Hall of Fame Cleo's Trio after the Muse of History. And then we gave out $550,000 to various nonprofits around the state, plus purchased 5 units at the in East Providence at the East Bay Office Park. So we have 5,300 square feet now of office space worth about $700,000, and we still have pretty close to the 3.6 left.
No kidding.
And it's still generating money.
You've always been a great investor.
Well, I try.
Yeah, no, you've always been excellent. Didn't you just donate?
Oh, yes.
To the library at my alma mater?
That's your alma mater, yes, Roger Williams University, because I'm also a lawyer, which sometimes that's...
And you're still practicing.
Oh, I do. Well, yeah, I have a case on
That's
next week.
amazing. I know we talked about it yesterday, I guess. You're still doing several cases.
And I said, my wife said, why are you still practicing? I said, well, I get to be perfect. So, but I donated 1,500 books that I had collected. I have a freestanding library on my property that I built back in 2000. And it held 9,000, a little over 9,000 books. And so I've donated 1,500 of them to the Roger Williams University School of Law.
Right.
And that only was done 2 months ago.
I know.
And before that, I had given 6,000 books to the general library.
Right.
Those were general books in history. The law books were American legal history, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and their implementation, the Supreme Court and the federal judiciary. So it was solely on American law. And then to clean the library out, so when I pass on, it won't be a problem for someone. I gave 7,000 volumes to the Redwood Library in Newport, and did that last year.
Right.
And those were general American history as well. So and then 3,500 way back, my wife and I joined because she's a big collector of very fine cook. So when I used to go out to the used bookstores
Right, you
around
buy
New York and New England,
cookbooks.
she'd be there grabbing the cookbooks and books on fashion and style and architecture. And she joined with me with a 3,500 volume donation to Johnson and Wales University,
I knew that,
which
yeah.
is the
Cooking,
and
cooking.
the architecture and
Right.
the all of the other niceties that have to do with entertainment and all.
Yep.
So that's about it. So you might say I'm all booked out. That's why I brought these two. I heard you whisper, here comes the geek bearing books.
Here comes a geek. But last but not least, I got one last question because we're running out of time.
Yep.
But Dorr, that sounds like a name from the Boston Red Sox.
That's Bobby Dorr.
Right.
Well, Bobby Dorr was D-O-E-R-R.
Oh,
He was the second baseman for the Boston Red Sox.
All right, I thought I had
And,
something
Yeah,
there.
I thought you had me, but you
I
didn't.
thought I had something there.
Yeah.
D-O-E.
D-O-E-R-R, and that's a German name. And Bobby Dorr was a phenomenal second baseman.
Right.
Played back in the 1940s and 50s with Ted Williams, and there was a great double play combination. Johnny Pesky as the shortstop
Yep.
and Dorr,
Yep.
and they were probably the best in the majors in their time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a guy call me one day. I don't know if we're going to have time to get this in, but I had a guy call me out of the clear blue. He said, "Is this Bob Venturini?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You like baseball?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well," he told me his name. He says, "I have a massive collection of memorabilia from Ted Williams."
Oh well.
And he says, I'm going to donate it to the Waterbury Museum in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Huh.
And I'd like you to come and join us when they open the museum, the section, which I did. I didn't realize it was three-hour ride. Though.
Yeah.
But I did. I went.
Well, Waterbury is strange because I was at the dedication in Florida when Ted opened his Hitters Hall of Fame museum in Florida,
Right.
which has since now become part of the Tampa Bay operations there. It was unable to sustain itself, but Ted, when I played baseball amateur in college, I was a left fielder, number 9.
Number 9. There you go.
My speed indicated I should be a center fielder, but I played left because of Ted.
Well, we got to have you back
Okay.
again. We always.
All right.
You can talk with you.
Well,
for
you always have my
hours.
back. You always have my back.
I do. Well, thank you for spending an hour with Bob and Dr. Pat Conley. And he'll be back again because he's unlimited wealth of knowledge.
Keep showing up like a bad penny.
There you go. Well, thank you, folks, for spending an hour with Bob and Dr. Conley. Until next time. See ya.
Absolutely.